Hey there, and welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever looked at a bunch of survey responses or feedback and it's just a wall of text, a total mess? Well, today we're going to tackle exactly that. We're going to learn how to take all that messy qualitative data and turn it into clear, powerful insights. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the problem of raw data. Then we'll start organizing by counting our categories. After that, we'll put those counts into perspective, and then the fun part, visualizing the data. And finally, we'll talk about why all this organization is so incredibly important. All right, let's dive right in. Every data story starts in the same place, with a big pile of raw, unorganized information. It's basically just noise. Our whole job is to find the hidden meaning, the signal, inside all that chaos. Just look at this stream of letters. Let's pretend these are answers to a simple survey question. Can you spot any kind of trend here just by glancing at it? It's pretty much impossible, right? This is the heart of the problem with raw data. There's no pattern, no story you can see right away. And there's a technical name for this stuff, raw data. It's simply the information you collect straight from the source. But here's the key thing to remember. In this raw state, it's not useful at all. We have to do some work, we have to process it to actually unlock its value. So how do we start to clean up this mess? Well, we begin with the most fundamental step imaginable. We just count. We're going to build something called a frequency distribution, which is really just a fancy way of saying we're going to tally everything up. I know frequency distribution sounds a little intimidating, but trust me, it's just a simple summary table. All it does is list out each unique category, like answer A, B, or C, and then shows a count of how many times each one popped up. This is our very first step in turning all that noise into a clear signal. And voila, here's what it looks like in practice. Remember that random jumble of letters from before? Look at it now. Organized in this table, the story is suddenly crystal clear. We can see instantly that A was the most popular answer with 4 responses, and B came in second with 3. Just like that, the data is actually starting to talk to us. Okay, simple counts are a fantastic start, but to really, truly understand what's going on, we need some context. I mean, knowing that A got 4 votes is one thing, but what slice of the pie is that? That's where something called relative frequency comes into play. Relative frequency is just a way to show the proportion, or more commonly, the percentage that each category represents out of the total. And this is so powerful for making comparisons. Knowing an answer got 4 votes is good. Knowing it got 40% of all the votes, that's a much deeper insight. And the formula? It could not be easier. You just take the frequency for one category, that count we just found, and you divide it by the total number of responses you have. It's literally just the part divided by the whole. Simple as that. So, for our big winner, category A, we take its frequency, which was 4, and divide it by our total of 10 responses. That gives us 0.4, or, as we'd usually say, 40%. See? Now we have a number that anyone can understand in a heartbeat. Okay, so we've wrangled our numbers into neat little tables. That's absolutely essential. But if you really want to communicate your findings, if you want to tell a compelling story, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats a good visual. It's time to make some charts. Let's kick things off with an old favorite, the bar graph. It's probably one of the most straightforward and effective ways to display this kind of data. Each of our categories gets its own bar, and the height of that bar tells us its frequency. Now, there are just a couple of simple rules to remember. For qualitative data like this, the order of the bars doesn't really matter. Super important, the bars should not touch each other because that shows these are distinct, separate categories. And of course, the height of the bar represents the value. And bam! Look at how this brings our data to life. You don't even have to read the numbers. Your brain is immediately drawn to that tallest bar, telling you instantly that A is the big winner here. Our minds are just wired to process visual information like this super, super fast. Now, let's level up a little bit and talk about a powerful variation of the bar graph called the Pareto chart. It follows all the same rules, but with one single game-changing twist. The bars are always arranged in decreasing order of frequency, from tallest to shortest. And you might think, so what? But that one little change is huge. A Pareto chart forces your attention onto the most significant factors right away. It's all about separating the vital few from the trivial many. You might know this as the 80-20 rule, and in business, this is a killer tool for spotting the biggest problems or the best opportunities in seconds. All right, another super popular visual is the pie chart. Now, where bar graphs are fantastic for comparing the exact values between categories, pie charts are designed specifically to show you how each category contributes to a single whole. They give you that instant sense of proportion.
So how does the magic happen? Well, a pie chart basically translates our relative frequency, that percentage we found, into an angle. A full circle has 360 degrees, right? So you just multiply your category's relative frequency by 360 to figure out how big its slice of the pie should be.
Let's go back to our friend category A. We know it was 40% of our data, or 0.4. So we multiply 0.4 by 360 degrees, and that gives us 144. So category A gets a 144-degree slice in our chart. And here is the final product. You can immediately see that big blue slice for category A, which visually shouts, "I'm 40%. Each slice represents its share, and altogether they create the complete 100% picture. Okay, so let's pull back and wrap this all up. Why did we go through all these steps? The counting, the calculating, the charting. Because organizing your data isn't just about being neat and tidy. It is the absolute, non-negotiable foundation of any good analysis. We've literally just walked through the entire noise-to-signal process. We started with a chaotic mess of raw data, we brought order to it with a frequency table, we added crucial context with relative frequencies, and then we told the story with clear, powerful charts. This is the fundamental workflow for making sense of this kind of information. Once you know these simple steps, you can take any jumble of qualitative data and find the story that's hiding inside. So the next time you see a spreadsheet of customer feedback or some survey results, don't see chaos. See an opportunity. See a story that's just waiting for you to uncover it.